Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bazby and I'm going to be doing some story time because story time is fun and I have a lot of stories. So since my last video was about Domino's Pizza, I figured I would do another Domino's Pizza story, but this one happened 10 years ago. So we had a GM, I had a GM named Rick. Rick worked so hard. This is the hardest working man I have ever known. Inspiration for me to ever become a manager in the first place. This man was the golden god of hard work. I adore this man. Thank you for your service, Rick. The dude worked so hard, he put himself into having a heart attack. And it wasn't just one, he had multiple heart attacks. He had 3 heart attacks in 1 month. I don't know how the man lived, but he did. Or maybe it was 6 weeks. It's been like 10 years, but... So he had to end up stepping down. We got this other guy named Joshua. Josh came in. Now Josh is it was very clear that this man was gay, but we became friends and eventually became roommates with me and the girl I was dating at the time. We ended up moving into his apartment because he had like an extra room. He had another roommate, but Josh ended up sleeping in the kitchen. I know it sounds funny, but he had a blow-up mattress and he slept in the kitchen. He just wanted us to pay his bills. Essentially, that's what it was. So he can keep all of his little money. He made as a general manager. So he slept in the kitchen, and Josh, like I said, he was very gay, but I liked him as a friend, and I thought he was cool. This back when I was like 20, 21. Josh was 30, 31, and he was coming to terms with his homosexuality. We were friends. I didn't think anything of it. I just thought a lot of the times he was being a troll because he was a very trolly kind of person. So he'd always say things like, just shut you up in an argument. He's like, I'm going to come up there and kiss you right on the mouth. And I'm like, stop, dude. Like, no, that's gay. Because, you know, I'm like fucking 20, man. This is like the early 2000s or late 2000s. So I had this other friend. He was actually my best friend for a very long time. His name was Justin Singleton. Singleton is the biggest homophobe I have ever met at that time. He could not stand anything that was even remotely gay, which kind of makes you wonder and question whether or not he was really gay, because I know the most homophobic people normally are the ones that are homophobe or that are homos. But he was very like anti-gay. So Josh would fuck with them. Again, this is me not thinking Josh is actually gay, because Josh is kind of like, you know, I thought he was just fucking with you. So that's what my mentality of it was. I was like, oh, he's not really gay. And one day Singleton wanted to work with us because he saw how much fun we had, because we'd go out to like Applebee's and get drunk and shit. And we'd like rent horror movies and just watch them. So it'd be like all of us in the house just watching scary movies all the time with alcohol. So he's like, oh, that's cool. I want to work with y'all. So he asked Josh for a job, and Josh, again, me thinking he's being funny, Josh goes, you know what, Singleton? I'll give you a job, but you got to show me your dick. Singleton, being a homophobe, was like, oh no, that's gay. I ain't gonna do that shit. Fuck you, faggot. So he's just, you know, doing that. And I thought it was funny. I was just like, oh, that's really funny. You're gonna make him work for this. Which also, this is incredibly illegal, by the way. But this happened in Paris, Texas, of 2010. So one day I'm with my girlfriend, and I'm just gonna tell you we're asleep, but we're not asleep. We're asleep, and I hear, and then my bedroom door flings wide open. This is like a week after Josh originally said this. Singleton burst in the room like this. Reed, I did it. And I was like, oh my god, you gay, dude, you gay. Say. Singleton showed Josh his dick, and Josh is like, oh, very nice. You're not going to get hired, though. And so Singleton got mad, and he goes, what the fuck you mean you're going to hire me? You said if I showed you my dick, I'd hire you. And Josh is like, yeah, I did say that, but I'm not going to do it, sweetie. I'm sorry. So Singleton's like, fuck you, you faggot-ass queer, and blah, 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 blah. And he's like, I'm going to tell my uncle, who's like a cop or a sheriff or whatever. And Josh, you know, he's got a receding hairline. His hair's up. His hairline's, you know, reaching an 8-inch forehead at that point. So he puts his hand on his hip, like I'm not gonna stand up, but he does it like very effeminately, and he's like, "You're gonna go tell your uncle that you showed a middle-aged man with the receding hairline your penis?" And Singleton's like, "No, And it is just the funniest shit. So I thought that was pretty funny. So Singleton didn't get the job, and he was too scared to go and tell anybody about it. And I've held that over him forever, because it's just like one of those funny stories you would make fun of your friends for, you know? Well, needless to say, after me and my girl broke up, that's for another story. We broke up, and everybody was moving out, and it was just me and Josh left in the house. And we went to a diner, a 24-hour diner, and I was like venting how upset I was because, you know, I was young and everything, and I had just tried to harm myself over it, and I was recovering after having like little arm surgery or whatever. And Josh came out and told me he was gay, and I was like, because it was like all at once, everything's like flooding through your head, and I'm like, oh shit, you're right. That makes perfect sense. That makes a lot of sense, actually. Because, again, I'm not being judgmental. I was never judging him from the get-go. I just thought he was kidding around. But it made a lot of sense. And I think, actually, before he told me that, or this is after, my memory's a little fuzzy on this part. But I remember I was cleaning his room out. Oh, okay, this was after. That's what it was. Because he ended up ditching me in the house. My name wasn't on his apartment, because I moved in after he was already living there, which is why he was in the kitchen. He moved out, but he wanted to keep the apartment in his name, and I never had an apartment in my name, or I never had rented an apartment, so I didn't know any better. So I was like, okay. Well, he got in trouble with the cops, and the cops showed up looking for him, and I was like, yeah, he doesn't live here. And the cops were like, well, his name's on the lease. Where is he? And I was like, he's not here. This is my house. The cops like, well, who are you? And I told them, they're like, well, you're not on the lease. So they go talk to the landlord, and I explained the entire story of everything that happened with him moving out. Landlady was all pissed off about it. She goes, he didn't pay rent. And I was like, well, I'll give him rent money. And she goes, well, he never paid me. So she opened up her little storage unit, and we took all of his furniture out and stuck it in the storage so he couldn't get it. And the only way he was going to get all of his stuff back is if he paid her the rent money or whatever. He left all of his furniture with me. He met some dude, I guess, and ran off with him. That's what had happened. And he got mad, and he was asking me about, like, well, where's my stuff at? I'm like, it's in storage. And he's like, well, how am I going to get it back? I'm like, you got to pay it. And he got mad. He fucking fired me. He fucking fired me. I came into work one day, and he's like, come in the office, and he fucking let me go. And that was my first time that was my first job. And I was there for almost 3 years. I was an assistant. I was trying to become a GM. He fucking fired me over that. I'm like, this was your fault. This wasn't my fault. But little does he know, I actually got him fired 2 weeks later because I reported everything he did. See, what I guess he forgot to tell, or forgot for anybody to know, whenever I lived with him, Josh stole money out of the register. He would do this thing where he'd come in. We didn't have cameras, and his boss never came up because I never even met his boss. Josh would come into the store in the morning. He would clock in, and he would leave. And he would go to Six Flags with his friend, or boyfriend or whatever, I don't know. But he would go to Six Flags. He would go out to the movies. He would never be at work ever. And I had to close all the time because of this shit. And I reported it, and I give exact time logs and everything. He got fired. So I took him down with me. The captain sinks with the ship, you know? I don't know what analogy you want to use for that, but I think this is very, very fucking funny. I don't know. You guys tell me what you think. Thank you guys for watching. Yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.